Hello, fellow scholars and purveyors of morbid curiosities alike. I'm Dr. Caleb, joined by the surf and bird himself, Dr. Zach. And this is SCPod. Zach, how are you today?
I am enjoying this Guinness. How are you?
I am not enjoying a Guinness. I am
I'll fix it.
quivering in my own unique hell.
Hell can be hairy.
I can't be intoxicated while we're talking about German birds.
And maybe it helps. You don't know that.
Maybe it does. Maybe it would make it easier to go into the night.
Caleb, the doctor says you need to drink more.
I got some water here. I'll drink some water.
Absolutely not.
Well, what kind of unique hell are we entering today, Zach?
Well, we were going to talk about something else, but then for first on the network, we're looking at a file that I've never read before. That was suggested to us by a listener. So thank you, random listener who suggested this. We are talking about SCP-4975. Have you heard of this one?
I have. I'm pretty familiar with this one.
I'm not.
I think we were talking a little bit before we pressed record about how it is unique that you haven't stumbled across this one. Because this one, I feel like in recent years has kind of popped off and become a little bit more widespread. I mean, if somebody's requesting it to us, it can't be nearly as obscure as Blood Brother or Blood of the Dragon.
Which we erroneously called Blood Brother for that entire episode.
Yeah. And then the author wrote to us, and we were like, ah, crap.
Yeah, shout out to Dr. Belmont.
Exactly. So, without further ado, Zach, if you would.
I will not. Good day. What now?
I guess that's the end of the episode. All right, Zach, where can they find you?
Don't. So long. Special containment procedures. SCP-4975 is to be contained in a standard steel containment cell. Human contact with SCP-4975 is prohibited. In case of containment breach, any Foundation personnel persistently hearing a rhythmic cracking noise are to isolate themselves from the other people and patiently wait until SCP-4975 is put back in its containment chamber or the cracking stops.
Description. SCP-4975 is a vaguely humanoid entity with various avian attributes, the most notable of which is its beak. Its body structure is long and thin overall, and its limbs taper off into formless extremities, lacking distinct digits. A thick, hardened skin layer covers the entirety of its body, including its beak. Its cervical vertebrae are not interconnected and appear to be able to move independently of one another. SCP-4975 continuously rotates the one vertebrae at a time from back to front, ending with its head, in a rhythmic fashion. This produces a clicking or cracking sound with each movement. SCP-4975 only stops moving its neck in this manner when it's preparing for an attack. SCP-4975 has been observed to stalk future victims for extended periods of time before finally deciding to attack, sometimes as long as 10 months or more. It kills its victims by means of its appendages, which it uses to bludgeon and tear at the victim's body. It will always eat the cadaver afterward, and an average adult human appears to last at about 3 months. 4975 is thought to be the subject of multiple folk tales from Germany, its country of origin. Evidence of SCP-4975 dates as far back as 1538, with both written and visual artistic depictions of it having been uncovered from that time period. There are also multiple German... I've been memeing so hard that I just read that word as German.
Good job. The German massacre.
There are also multiple German nursery rhymes that are thought to concern SCP-4975, one of which can be found in Addendum 4975-B. Despite 4975's permanent presence in its containment cell, new incidents and sightings continue to be reported from its region of origin. Investigation discontinued indefinitely. Reclassification of 4975 to Keter class is currently pending. See Addendum 4975-A.
Addendum 4975-A. The following event log details the contents of a video captured by the body cam of one of the Foundation operatives investigating recent SCP-4975 related reports near the Black Forest, Schwarzwald, Germany. No audio was recorded. Begin log. Date 16/09/2002. 1 p.m. 52 minutes. Forward. Foundation operatives were investigating a Freiburg citizen who had told local law enforcement that he had been hearing a rhythmic clicking noise for over 4 months, and that someone was stalking him. The operatives had taken him into their custody and told law enforcement that he experienced paranoia and auditory hallucinations due to side effects of the chemotherapy he was receiving at the time as a cover-up. The following was recorded on the day they had ordered the man to show them where he had last seen SCP-4975. Several armed Foundation operatives are walking in a wooded area. One can be seen talking into a handheld receiver. A Freiburg citizen is among them. He appears to be out of breath and nervous, looking around frantically and clutching his arms to his chest. After a few minutes go by, he freezes in place. He says something and points towards a tree. Some of the operatives turn to see what he is looking at. They appear confused. There is nothing behind the tree visible on camera. The man seems to panic and stumbles backwards, pointing at nothing. Note: according to surveillance footage, at this exact time, SCP-4975 had stopped rotating its neck and was instead staring motionless at the southeastern corner of its containment cell. Suddenly, the local man is forcibly thrown to the ground. He is struck multiple times in the head and torso by an unseen aggressor. Several operatives fire at the presumed source of the attack, but hit nothing. One attempts to grab the man and drag him away, but a large wound starts appearing on his midriff, from where he is seen to be anchored. The operative gives up after attempting to move the man, only further tears open the wound. The operative, talking into the handheld receiver, then raises his firearm and shoots the local man in the head, killing him. After a few minutes, strips of flesh start to get ripped off the dead body one by one. Once the strips are completely detached from the body, they vanish. Note: at this time, SCP-4975, which had not been fed, appeared to be eating. End log. From start to end, that transcript was about 5 minutes.
Addendum 4975-B. An old nursery rhyme from Germany, believed to be about SCP-4975. It has lost most of its rhyming scheme due to being translated from German. Tick-tock, the cuckoo clock ticks. Cuckoo, the bird inside sings. Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. As ticks the time, so ticks your heart. May you live long as you hear its song. Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. Listen close for when it stops. The hatchling comes out of its home. Tick-tock, 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 tick. Did you hear it? Did it stop? My child, it meant your time was up.
So this is a great entry. I absolutely love the description. It gives us a lot of detail. And if you are listening to this, I encourage you to stop whatever it is you're doing and look up a picture of 4975. Because I was telling Dr. Caleb, it is the most first edition D&D monster manual picture I've ever seen outside of a first edition D&D monster manual.
It's great. It's great.
It is amazing, but I love the detail in which it describes its vertebrae, how they're interdependent, and it just feels like, this emaciated bird thing with like a snake for a neck, if that makes sense. There's like this noodly, bony appendage that I imagine is always just kind of like oscillating just a little bit, and also because it's it's whirling them around like gears, not like a clock. Which makes the name of the file times up a lot, makes it make a lot more sense, especially with that nursery rhyme.
100%. Zach, I have a question for you. So, in lieu of it being able to seemingly kill people without touching them, as evidenced by the addendum, is this what it means to go beyond?
I feel like there's a reference here.
Is this Ultra Instinct?
No, Ultra Instinct is what you would need to dodge.
Okay.
Like, you're fighting an invisible bird monster that is not even near you. And so, like, there raises some, like, spatial questions of, like, is there a transitory period between, like, the flesh being removed and then the bird grabbing it? I really want to take a closer look at that, because there's maybe an entire process there that we're not really being able to observe.
Yeah, I do think this is really interesting, because if this was an older SCP, you know for a fact that the addendum would just be the person getting killed, and it wouldn't do any flashbacks to the creature in the cell.
Well, I mean, we've come a long way in terms of documentation.
Yeah. And I just think it is really interesting, and it makes me wonder if this is like just a more recent SCP, and that's why it's something that you had never heard of.
Maybe. I'm not as hip on some of the newer entries. I've been at this for a long time, and so it's still exciting to me that there's more new stuff being made, and that I guess I'll get to experience, learning about new ones.
Exactly.
Even if they're all terrifying.
Also, the nursery rhyme, goes hard.
Oh yeah, it's good. Even if it is translated.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a big fan of, like, a monster, and this is just, like, a perfect encapsulation of what one could be. Like, and I think it's interesting because, like, it has a very gaunt appearance, while still being described to have, like, a very specific and evocative motion. Because, like, we think about, like, large reptiles, and this one's terrifying because it's just this large beanpole gangly thing. Just a naked bird man with, a featherless body in, like, the wings because they don't have digits. They're just bludgeoning you to death.
So, I have a question for you,
Yeah.
Zach. And this one is not have to do with anything Dragon Ball Z related.
Okay.
Would this thing be less terrifying if it didn't have a beak?
Well, I mean, as we raised last time, what do we replace the beak with?
No. We're not replacing the beak. It's just gone.
It's just smooth.
Yeah.
I think it would still be terrifying, just in a different way. But also, like, the gist of the monster is that it tries to eat you. And so,
right.
Well, then why else is it killing you if it doesn't have a beak?
No. As we have gone about doing last episode, the laws of physics don't need to work. The birds were able to fly without wings.
Caleb, we have worked. I was asking you those questions. You're asking me this questions, and homeboy, that's not how I deal with questions. I came to play, but no, I mean, like, we're fundamental, especially with, like, the removal of a beak or other, like, masticating apparatus, for lack of a better word, is like, then what else would it kill?
That's true.
And I don't like you. I'm not afraid of it because it's a bird. I'm afraid of it because it teleports to me as it eats it.
Yeah, that's true. I think this kind of captures a similar thing as the Plague Doctor.
Okay.
I don't know if it's just like the old timey kind of photo that it has or what, but like I get very similar vibes, and I think this just does the Plague Doctor thing so much better.
So what do you mean by the Plague Doctor thing?
The SCP-049.
Right. No, I understood that part. It's like I don't see the resemblance.
I think it's just like the old timey kind of feel to it.
Okay.
And like this like malicious, like we don't understand anything, like its intentions or why it does what it does.
Well, I mean, we understand why 049 does what it does. It's that he's a medical quack and doesn't take our insurance. It did beat a woman to death with a shoe. Like, I don't understand why, like, SCP-049 is terrifying because of medical malpractice and malfeasance.
I think I said this during the episode, but malpractice makes malperfect.
Yeah, and so, like, I honestly don't see the appeal. He's just a goofus, like a murderous goofus. People keep telling us that he raises zombies, and I don't think that man could raise anything.
The only thing he did is raise some questions.
He did raise some questions. Where did you go to medical school, sir? So, I don't know. I don't see it. There are other old-timey SCPs. For me, this does kind of capture... if I was going to try to compare it to other SCPs that we may or may not have talked about, is some of the earlier Monster of the Week ones, where they're not really tied to a greater continuity or other body of research. They're just like, look at this monster. I guess we covered.
They're just there.
We covered one earlier with the predatory street art. That might be a good comparison.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes a monster is just a monster. Albeit this one does teleport your meat as it eats it. If it was contained the entire time, how did it? By what means did it track its prey? Does it have other sensory abilities that we're not aware of? If it can do that, necessarily, how does it see?
It is really interesting because it did say that it was standing. It was doing its little clicking thing, and then it stopped when it started the attack, which is in line with what it does, and then it was standing in a certain corner of its cell and stuff like that. So it could be probably extrapolated that it's it was doing that. We just don't know by what means, because it was still there. It wasn't an apparition or anything like that. It was still there.
Right. Similar to what we covered in the first run of the show when we were talking about the at the foot of the bed, where it takes the slip of meat off the feet, but we don't know where it goes.
Right.
Honestly, I kind of wonder if it's its own subgenre or if those are undocumented attacks of other SCPs.
It is really interesting. I really want some more research in on this, because I think that is a really cool thing. Cool in parentheses, because it is killing people.
Right.
But yeah, I think this rocks. This fucks.
This is great. But yeah, I really do wonder if the method of attack has any other overlay with other SCPs, and I wonder if some of those other SCPs are just unexplained or unidentified phenomena related to, SCPs like this.
Well, what if the foot of the bed is just a 4975 with a foot fetish?
Right, and there's only the one documented. We don't know if there are more, and if they can do it for containment, how do we know that they would even need to physically be present for their stalking? Because they clearly needed to do it here. So what you have is a predator that can somehow have extrasensory sight at an unspecified range, able to eat or hunt, murder, and consume prey without leaving its lair. So you wouldn't necessarily find it out in the wild unless it was just out there, but it doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, for me, this is the good thing that every SCP should kind of do, where it raises questions, actually kind of interesting ones, while still being an actually well written and described entity.
Right. And I love that it's I think it's this article is just written really well too, where it's you kind of have a grasp on it, and then it's all of a sudden it's no, actually this is a Keter, because we thought we had it contained, and it just randomly killed a dude again. Mm-hmm. So,
well, I mean, yeah, the in the description or in the containment procedures, it just tells you to sequester yourself if you hear the clicking, because at that point, what can they do to stop it? Because it's not physically there, they can't shoot it. I mean, I wonder if they shot into the cage or did something into the cage where it actually is, if that would stop the attack. Yeah,
one thing that is kind of missing from the addendum is while the thing is killing its victim, we don't really see too much of what is going on. If it is also doing the thing to its cell or something like that. It does say that it appeared to be eating, so I think we can kind of assume that the food is being teleported to it.
Mm-hmm. Like, the bee tears the meat off, and then from there, it's already... At some point between it being ripped off and then it actually being swallowed, it gets teleported into, like, the cell at some point.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, if you're witnessing the behavior and you're the attending researcher, why don't you put more detail into it? Like, what... Unless there's, like, how noticeable is this? Like, you're noticing it's eating.
Exactly.
I feel like we could use more detail there on what that actual behavior looks like. And, like, when it's... The meat is in the chamber, is it creating dripping? Like, what physical traces are now in there?
Exactly.
And at what point, like... Is there a critical threshold to the teleportation process of the food being put into the cell? Like, what would it take, or could this thing like just drag a person straight into a other area?
What if this is the final evolution of the extra-dimensional albatrosses?
Then we should probably kill them all. I'm not afraid of birds. That will be a problem.
They hit level, what do you think, like level 68 or something like that, and the albatrosses evolve into this fucking dude?
I'll tell you what, they hit level 7 and then go to prestige class. Digidelve into German bird monster.
Yeah, I really like this guy. I think that he gives us just enough information to chew on, but like still raises enough questions. And it's not just like, oh, we need to put more money into low light cameras. No, it's like, how the fuck did this even happen?
Right, and like, how do you go about observing it? And like, can it only hunt in places that it knows or has been to? Or can it just be, can it be like astral project itself into like New York City?
Exactly. It just enters the mirror dimension.
Right, like it goes into the upside down. And it's great because even if this wasn't an actual monster, it's the kind of thing that would exist in German folklore anyway.
Exactly.
Which it does.
And we've talked a little bit about that little clicking sound that it does.
Uh-huh.
But what a fucking ominous thing to just randomly hear.
Especially if you don't necessarily know what it is, because then like you're just thinking like, what does that sound? Like you're at home, like, and if you're like me, you live alone, and it's just this thing where it's like, what the hell is that noise? And then
you're like, oh, the foundation's settling or something like that, and it's like,
and it goes on for months, and so you stop.
Over time, like it just becomes more frequent.
Right, but also like it does that thing. We probably do that thing where, like if you hear a sound constantly, you just kind of learn to block it out.
Yeah.
Until one day you just stop hearing it, and it takes you a second to realize that you're not hearing it, and then you just turn around and just fucking see this thing in the corner of your room.
Ugh, that's so crazy.
God, that's so good. That is so good. As a horror author, I love that. Like, because you could have it...
it reminds me of this creepypasta I read a while back, and it was like this person lives with like this demonic entity that narrates every aspect of her life. And then one day it just is like, in 1 week, Susan will die. She does not know this yet. And then like it was like counting down to her death, and then the day that she was supposed to die, like the demonic entity was like gone, like just vanished. And then like in the hour that she was supposed to die, like it was knocking on her door or something like that. It's something like that where it's like, where knowing that, or even knowing like, oh, this is a herald of my incoming demise, and there's nothing I can do about it. Like, it's so morbid.
In a really interesting way, like, there's not enough written about, at least in modern horror, about sort of the terror of inevitability.
Yeah.
But, like, I really appreciate it when you only realize how inevitable it was at the very end. Like, there was just no way around it.
Yeah. It's one of those things that, like, I feel like it's a trope, at least like in action movies or something like that, where a character can like see the future and they're like trying to delay or like stop that future from happening, and all it does is like cause that to happen.
Right, because the trope.
I always love when that happens. It's like little things.
Right, because the trope accounts for them doing that.
Exactly.
And so, like, by trying to stop your inevitable end, it just causes it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's really cool. And this is a version of that. It's like you start to hear the clicking, and you know, even if you do know what it is, like, the fuck are you supposed to do about it? Like, we have no way of stopping it from happening.
But we don't necessarily know that either, because we know by the looks of the file, no one has tried just like zapping it while it's in hunting behavior.
True.
So I mean, we might be able to stop it, but it looks like no one's gone that far in research.
Imagine, like, in the tropiest thing that could happen, like a little girl runs into the little German girl runs into the cell and like hugs it. It's like, no, you don't have to do this, and then it just like stops.
Right? All I can think about is like this weird niche meme that went around for a while. It's like, no, little German boy, don't go in that cave. Which, is one of my favorite niche memes that you don't really see around anymore. But I don't know. I mean, go check your local cave. Maybe there's one of these in here. If you're in Germany, report back.
Yeah. I do think it's really, really messed up that we are 4, if you're counting lost episodes into this season, and we've talked about 2 birds that will kill you, and you just have like no defense against it.
Well, I mean, like, to be fair, Dr. Caleb, this one wasn't my idea. And
that just means you're bringing the audience to your side.
I don't think I was bringing them to my side. I think they were already on my side. The people have spoken to Dr. Caleb, and they want you to suffer.
Yeah, it's you know what? I think that minus the albatross, I think that any bird-related SCP that we've talked about has actually been pretty cool. I'll say it. You know, I hate birds.
Well, this one's like remarkably not bird-like.
Minus the, I don't know. It has a beak. As we established in the last episode,
back the fuck up. Octopus.
You don't see its beak. It's not a visible beak.
It has a beak. That was not what you said, though.
Okay, if I'm getting attacked by an octopus, it is suctioned onto my face, and I see the beak coming at me, yes, I'll be afraid. Is that what you want to hear, Zach?
Kinda. So, like, Dumbo octopus. It has flaps.
They're not bird-like enough.
It has wings, has a beak.
Like I said, I'm not afraid of like, I'm not afraid of like dragonflies.
But they don't have beaks.
That's true.
Dumbo octopus, beaks and wings. This is some Greek philosopher stuff of like Diogenes saying a plucked chicken is a man. Behold a bird just flopping a dead octopus on the ground.
It has wings. It has a beak. It must be and you know what? It does slowly fall.
It does. Well, I mean, it depends on
swimming is kind of flying to underwater things.
Right. And in other news, coconuts are now mammals because they have hair and have milk.
Exactly.
That makes me very happy.
You know what? I might be retiring.
This has been Bird Talk about where we decide whether things are birds or not.
This, notably, kind of a bird.
It's bird-like. It's about as bird-like as it is SCP-049-like.
Exactly. Maybe that's what I'm getting is like, you know, plague doctors do have the beak mask. Maybe that's why I was like trying to conflate the two.
You heard it here first. Doctors are birds. I don't like the rules.
I haven't been to a doctor in a decade, so you know. Maybe I'm afraid of doctors too.
You're afraid of doctors because you might have to pay them.
That's very true. I'm afraid of anything I have to pay. That's why Zach scares me so much.
Yeah.
Anyway, Zach, what else do you want to say about Mr. Birdbrain over here?
Good monster. Love it.
I love a monster with a historic background too. I really do.
Yeah, I like one that has like a context, a story, but also like a good amount of detail in its actual behavior, and a few details about why
Yeah.
we're actually looking at it. Because if it was just like a monster that just ran out of the woods and it killed you, we have billions of those.
True.
But like,
Some of them aren't even SCPs.
no, some of them are my neighbors who really need to rein it in. But this one is like, it has such a fascinating behavior because we don't know like the method of transference or actual hunting behavior or methodology.
Mm-hmm.
So one minute you're on the max, and then the other you're being eaten alive by an invisible bird monster that only you can see.
And again, it doesn't even have to be an SCP.
Yeah, I mean,
If you're on the max, it could be just a random person.
yeah, and I'll say it again. They can really rein it in. But that's all I have.
Yeah. Well, dear audience, please let this be known that we do take requests, and even though we might scoff at our audience and think you're a bunch of losers, it's because we're losers as well.
And it's solidarity.
But exactly. But if you guys give us some cool ideas for SCPs to cover, your SCP might just end up in a video and or a podcast, and I can react accordingly to it. I will say though, if you start requesting a bunch of bird SCPs, I will stop telling Zach that they have been suggested, so that I don't have to cover them.
I get it.
So, in the meantime, Zach, where can people send suggestions to you at? Or just read work from you and comment on it?
They can do both at www.makeawritingcheck.blogspot.com. New material posted twice a month. By the time this video or this podcast comes out, it might be close to October, and I have my annual mini-series coming out. You can also find contact information for me on there, so that if you do want to tell me directly about bird SCPs, my email will be in there.
You can also check him out on YouTube at Roll for Writing and comment on his stuff there too.
Yeah. Tell me your bird and bird-related paraphernalia dreams.
Alright, well, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Calica1738. It's pretty much a ghost town there, but who knows? I just started doing some extracurricular activities, so I might post on there. You can also find me on my other podcast that I do with a couple friends, where we talk about a children's card game known as the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading Card Game. We look at it through a competitive lens, and we talk about things. We get really heated. I don't think we say any slurs, but, I don't put it past our mutual friend Austin, honestly.
Yeah.
So, but that is on the YouTube channel Resurgence YGO. If you like the kind of brand of humor that I have on here, it's just that, but through the lens of a children's card game over there. So, yeah, check it out. And you can find the podcast on Twitter at SCPod_cast, where I do not update very often. You can find it on Instagram at SCPod.cast, where I do update. You can find us on Spotify and YouTube, and possibly future platforms. And yeah, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, rate the podcast, all that other stuff. And this is a testament. We will read your comments. We will take it into consideration, and the council will determine your fate. In the meantime, Zach, what are we covering next week?
Next week we are covering SCP-2571, Cragglewood Park.
Oh, that one's a fun one. I like these kind of obscure little dudes. Yeah, there's one thing I really like about this podcast is just like exploring some just like silly little dudes.
Well, I mean,
and like some obscure stuff that I've never heard of.
Yeah, like this. I've never heard of SCP-4975.
Yeah. So, yeah, look forward to that, and we will see you again. And Zach, bird is the word, but what are your words for us?
I took a picture of a crow.
God damn it! Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.